Cadwell Park, nicknamed the mini Nurburgring by most of the track day community. This will be the place of the next round of the Javelin Sprint Series and a track that I've never actually been on before. So in today's video we're taking the Suzuki Swift Sport on an evening track session to get to grips with the technical track before taking the Yaris here to do some competitive sprinting. It ended up being a quiet track evening with only about 19 cars all evening, which was great to learn the track, but that doesn't mean there was a lack of overtakes or battling with some much quicker cars than the Swift, as well as some changing conditions to mix everything up. So let's get into the video and see how well we can get to grips with this incredible track. Hello YouTube and welcome back to another video where today you join us at Cadwell Park. Once again another new track to the channel. This time we're only here for a track evening though, and we're here in the Suzuki Swift. So obviously you'd have seen this at Kerbera, but the slight difference here is that it's got the actual wheels it should have had at Kerbera. Just a slight quick thing with that, I got some of the wrong wheels. So yeah, so we've got the proper wheels that I should have had at Kerbera with some proper track tyres. So yeah, we're going to see what this thing is like around Cadwell Park. I think the main reason why we are here, why we're just here for the evening, is just to learn the track, because for us, in a few days, we'll be at the next round of the Javelin Sprint Series and the Toyota Sprint Series, which is here at Cadwell Park. So aim of today is just to learn the track. There's only 19 cars on for this track evening, so it's a very quiet track evening. And some of the cars look like normal road cars. There's a few serious cars here. Like I say, the Suzuki Swift, what's been done to it, the wheels, the tyres, and the intake and a remap. So you could basically say we're in a standard Suzuki Swift. Say suspension wise, nothing's been touched on it, hasn't even been aligned since I've got it, so who knows what alignment it's on. But yeah, we're just here to have a bit of fun, we're just here to learn the track. But yeah, here to see what the Swift's like as well. It'd be nice to actually track this thing as well, use it as a bit of a practice for the Yaris. So it's got a bit more power than the Yaris, about 40 more horsepower, but yeah, obviously none of the suspension components have been touched on it. But yeah, I mean, I think it looks great, giving that proper rally vibe to the OZ racing always. So yeah, let's not waste any much more time, let's get out on the track and let's see how the Suzuki Swift performs around Cadwell Park. And here we go then, out for the first session of the evening. Now this session is basically just going to be me learning the track, learning what gear I should be in, trying to learn the racing lines, etc, etc. As I say, I've never been on Cadwell Park before, apart from the sighting laps that we've just done. So this is the first time in anger we are finally out on Cadwell Park. Now because it is a very quiet track evening, there's not really anyone to sort of follow either, to sort of learn the best lines. So it's going to be me basically trying to guess what the best line, what gear I should be in, etc. to go around the track. And as we get to the end of the first lap then, before the mountain, we're going to get our first hiccup of the session. Yeah, I'll go completely wide then just before the mountain. The sort of confidence here is being knocked a little bit as we come through Hall's Bend as well for the first time at full speed. Coming through the first corner and then coming through the second, like I say, usually probably should be changing down there to really utilise the revs of the Swift. But at the minute, sort of keeping it in third. It looks like the racing line's pretty bang on, but like I say, it's just now learning what gears I should really be in. But we're finally going to start catching up to our first car then to overtake it, and it looks like some little Citroen rally car, some old school rally car, so I'll be disappointed if I didn't catch up to it. But yeah, coming down Gooseneck then and coming down to the bottom hairpin at the end of Gooseneck. But yeah, we're just going to get a simple overtake done for the session. And then towards the end of the session, then we're finally going to be gaining some confidence, especially coming through Hall's Bend. Yeah, much better run then through Hall's Bend as we come down into the start-finish straight. We noticed that the Swift sort of it doesn't feel as quick as it did coming down here on the previous lap. So at this point I back off then, let the car cool down before we head out for another session. For most of the second session, it's basically just an add-on on the first session. We're experimenting with different gears, we're trying different lines just to see how quick we can get the Swift around Cadwell Park.
We've definitely got a lot more confidence in the car now compared to that first session. It's now just unlocking the power that the Swift really has. So indeed, starting to gain a lot more confidence in the Swift then. Coming up to this Mitsubishi Evo 5, I believe it is, and get the overtake done on it. It wasn't really going fast all evening, so I'm guessing it's either an issue with the car, maybe an issue with the driver, who knows. But we also come to this other overtake as well as we get to the Citroen rally car once again. Just being patient and waiting for the opportunity that I can overtake him, as you know, it's a track day and not a race day. But then on the final lap of this session, we get this Porsche GT4 Cayman, I believe it is, overtake me, and well, I'm going to let the footage play so you can just see how well I stick with it, considering that that is a full-on fledged Porsche and I'm just in a Suzuki Swift Sport. Now obviously we weren't sticking with the Porsche, but at the same time the Porsche wasn't exactly getting away, considering, you know, the power difference and the chassis difference, etc, etc. But we do cool the car down and bring it into the pits. So let's skip over then to the third session of the evening, and we've got a lot more confidence in the car now, and even Hannah's noticing it. We've got a lot more confidence, as you can hear her. Yeah, you can definitely tell then that even Hannah's noticing that I'm definitely picking up the groove of the track, definitely picking up how the Swift is performing. But the biggest thing then about this session is the rain. As you can see, the wipers are moving. As we've got a Clio 182 ahead of us then. So now we're going to start picking off a few cars here and there. Now the rain has come out, go around the outside of the Clio before gooseneck. It is allowed to do on a track day as long as we've got permission from the car ahead, which we did. And we've also got a Mark II MX-5 ahead of us then coming up the hill. Unfortunately, because they're going to slow down a lot, we do have to wait behind them. But it does show then that just because a little bit of rain comes out, some people just completely back off. Now, it will be a little bit slippier around the track, but the rain that we've got at the minute is pretty light, so it's not going to give us too much trouble as long as we are careful. Now the MX-5 then does indicate to let us through, but they're on full power. It just shows then that the Swift, you know, isn't as quick as a Mark II MX-5, so it might look like it's going around Cadwell pretty quickly, especially keeping up with that Porsche in the last session. But then, you know, coming to a straight line, it's just as quick as a Mark II MX-5. So it's definitely showing that the Swift is actually a really capable car under the right hands. As we catch up then to this Mini Cooper S ahead of us, as we catch it at Hall's Bend, and once again we're having to be really patient coming around Hall's Bend, as we can't overtake anywhere around this section of the track. And again, once again, as soon as that rain comes out, people just like to back off. Obviously, it's a track day. People are wanting to be protective of their pride and joy, of course. It's better to slow down if you're not confident in these conditions. And of course, the person behind, example me, will just have to wait for the next possible opportunity. As we come to the start, finish straight there, and once again, like the MX-5, it's just not going to back off on the straight. So it does back off eventually coming up to the hill, but again, it was more of a, I have to sort of tell myself I'm going to have to go down the inside, you know, of that Mini, or else I'm not going to get the overtake done. As we come through Hall's Bend then, red flags are going to come out. We were going to end the session here anyway, so luckily the red flags came out. But weirdly, we had the red flags then. After Hall's Bend, we're going to see the lights turn from red to green. Very odd indeed. Not sure what happened. I'm guessing someone went off and they got themselves quickly back on track. But let's go into the pits and let's just debrief the first 3 sessions before we get into the final session.
Right guys, there's about 3 sessions down. Swift's doing absolutely fine. First session, just getting used to the track. Definitely not as quick as it could have been. A few mistakes here and there. Like I say, that's basically a new track, especially with how hilly and off cambered this track is. Yeah, it does catch you out quite a bit. Yeah, the second session going out a lot quicker. Definitely throwing the car in a lot more, a lot better. And I'll say in the third session as well, same things, throwing the car in a lot more. Honestly, it started to rain as well. Rain has stopped a bit. So yeah, so the track didn't feel like it was losing grip, even though the red and yellow diagonal flags are out to indicate slippy track. It didn't really feel that slippy. It looked like a bit of gloss coming onto the track, but not too bad. But yeah, the Swift has been absolutely fantastic. Definitely wish I had a bit more stickier tyres on it, but this is my daily car. I don't want to whack on some Archer Plate R's or CRS Nankangs on it. But yeah, the 8008 RS tyres, when you push them, they're not too bad, to be fair, not too bad. I kept that Porsche honest in the second session just before I went for the cool down. So, you know, it says a lot of what the car and, you know, the tyres can do. Like I say, suspension wise, nothing's been done to it. This is basically a bare stock Swift with a tiny bit, about 10 more horsepower, if that, over stock. So it's impressing me a lot. I was a bit worried about the brakes overheating with these tyres on it, because you can probably see there's not really much air to escape. And the DS2500 pads as well, again, not too good brake pads, but people in the track day community don't rate them highly as soon as you start absolutely pushing them. But yeah, brakes have been fantastic. I can't really complain too much. I could probably push them a little bit further, but I also need to drive home. And like I say, the idea of this is just to learn the track, which is what we're doing. Like I say, come Sunday, which will be the next video, we're out in the Yaris competitively driving around it. So yeah, I'm enjoying the Swift. It's been surprising me. Probably do 1 or 2 more sessions. I've got about another 50 minutes left of the evening. But yeah, let's get to it.
So for this final session, I'm pretty sure I was the only person out on track, but it does give us a good opportunity to show you lot the full lap of Cadwell Park. So here is my best lap from this session. And there it is then, a 1:54.5. Not a bad lap at all, considering we are basically in a stock Suzuki Swift with a passenger. So yeah, we are ready then for the Cadwell Sprint coming up very soon in the Yaris. But before we get to there, let's debrief the whole evening with the Swift back in pit lane.
Right guys, there it is, Cadwell Park done and dusted. And yeah, what an absolutely fantastic track, what an absolutely fantastic car. Yeah, brilliant combination. It just shows, to be honest with you, you don't need a high horsepower car, you don't need these fancy suspension setups, you don't need anything like that. All you need is decent tyres, decent brakes, and a bit of skill. Yeah, Cadwell Park, fantastic track. I think there's a couple of corners I was messing up a little bit, especially the hairpin, the corner that's just down there. Yeah, messed that up a little bit tiny here and there. Definitely went wide a few times, especially on that last session. Last session was definitely the quickest. But yeah, just trying to push the car as much as I can in preparation for the sprint on Sunday, which will be the next video for you lot. So yeah, so it's fantastic in this. I can imagine how quick and incredible it must be on a car that weighs probably about 100 kg less with much stickier tyres on it. So yeah, should be a fun one on Sunday for the Yaris. And yeah, feeling a lot more confident now coming into it, especially that first session did knock confidence a little bit, not trying getting the hang of the track, but that second session onwards, as soon as it clicked, yeah, absolutely brilliant. So yeah, massive plus for the Swift Sport. Pretty sure we'll be doing a couple more track days in this, especially when I start modifying it. So like I say, tyres, heavier wheels, brakes, some track day pads, and intake remap, which is probably giving it not even 10 horsepower. So yeah, fantastic little car. Yeah, thank you very much for watching YouTube. Don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you want me to see more track days, if you want to see a bit more of the Swift, just let us know. And yeah, and I'll see you for the Javelin Sprint Series and the Toyota Sprint Series in the next video. See you then.